Hey everyone, Kommie here. Today we're going to talk about the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. 2? Activision really knows how to market and convey to audiences, don't they? Just this past weekend, the Modern Warfare 2 beta went live for everyone to play, and you got early access if you sold your soul to Activision, which of course I did. I put around 10 to 12 hours of playtime throughout the period, and I wanted to share my thoughts. After day one, I was in disbelief about how good I thought the game was. Side canceling was removed, the map design was significantly better, the gunplay was immaculate, and it was overall just a really fun time. Then I played for the rest of the weekend, and that leads me to the title of this video. Modern Warfare 2 is inconsistent. Lots of game design choices, and the way the game plays feels very inconsistent to me. I've heard other people say the same thing, whether that is the weapon balance, the UI choices they made, or matches I've been thrown in with skill-based matchmaking. We're going to dive into each of these topics and talk about Call of Duty's inconsistency. Time to kill is one of the most important aspects of any shooter video game. It dictates the pace and what type of game you're going to play right off the bat. Call of Duty has been known to have one of the fastest time to kills among all shooter video games. Infinity Ward's titles among the fastest in the franchise. Most Treyarch titles to me have always had slower gameplay and felt weird weapon design choices, with the exception of Black Ops 2. If you play World at War today, you'll never believe this was a Call of Duty game. The weapons have strange recoil patterns, the bullets do very little damage, and the map design is quite strange. But it's still a great multiplayer Call of Duty, the way they balance all of these different attributes. Modern Warfare 2, on the other hand, some weapons fill the roles perfectly, and you can play to their advantages and disadvantages with ease. Then there's a few weapons that just don't seem to work well at all, and then others that thrive in all scenarios. I played with assault rifles most of the time during the beta, using the M4 a fair amount. From my time with it, it seemed pretty well balanced and rewarded an appropriate playstyle with it, moving through the map, checking corners, and keeping gunfights in a closer to medium range. However, the second you go past, I would say about 30 meters, the M4 and every single weapon that is not a longer range rifle falls off and falls off hard. Weapons like the Lockman are superior to every other weapon at every range. I made a joke Lockman class to try and showcase how powerful the weapon is, and it is ridiculous. The hip fire is super strong, and if you're mounted up, good luck to your enemies if you catch them by surprise. It kills in 2 shots from any range pretty much, no matter where you hit the enemy. And, you know, I am all for making headshots strong, but when a single fire weapon has an insane fire rate and can one-shot headshot, we're running into the Warzone DMR meta, which results in a metagame where everyone runs the same gun, and if you're not, you're at a severe disadvantage. I understand balancing weapons is a difficult task, but I think the success of Call of Duty in the earlier days, came from most of the weapons in the best games featured many great weapons instead of just a few. There will always be standout weapons, but in the original Modern Warfare 2, you can pretty much use any weapon and clean house, with of course the exception of the F2000, but we don't need to talk about that. There is an issue that can and probably will be this is an issue that can and will probably be fixed, but at launch, I see the Lockman platform running house until Infinity Ward makes enough money off store bundles with it. As important as weapons can be, the UI in video games, I would say, generally speaking, is overlooked. Call of Duty got away with the same UI for like 4 to 5 years, for like a 4 to 5 year stretch, because what they had worked and worked well. The second you try and pretty something up, though, it goes in 2 different directions. You either end up with a beautiful product, or something that had great ideas behind it, but ends up looking like a toddler drew something together and looks rushed. As it stands today, after the beta, Modern Warfare 2's UI is looking rough. Introducing a feature like weapon platforms and progression is more than welcome from me and many people alike. I think the idea is ingenious and brings a new sense of diversity and freshness to the Call of Duty IP. Cold War and Vanguard, however, ruined Gunsmith. Going up to 8 attachments in Cold War was ridiculous, and even more in Vanguard is blasphemy. The 5 attachment system is the best because you have to balance the weapon and take good with the bad. In Vanguard and Cold War, you can make any weapon and everything weapon. A gun that exceeds in every situation. Which sure sounds nice, but then you lack a pool pool of weapons and everyone shifts to the same 2 or 3 weapons and every match ends up feeling the same. Sorry to ramble, but the point is weapon platforms are cool, but the UI implementation needs to improve. I probably watched 3 or 4 different videos and read several different articles before debate I'd have an understanding of the mechanic, so I'd not need to ask questions about it when it came to it. I had to explain to my friends several times where the progression was and how to change the perk lineup and how to go into Gunsmith. The UI is not intuitive, and I feel like once the game drops, I may have to make a video explaining how to find everything because it feels like a puzzle with no edge pieces. It is strange seeing the platforms for the M4 show up and other weapons like the Hurricane appearing in the SMG slot before it's unlocked. I think they should only appear once the player has unlocked every weapon and is ready to use. Another weird quirk is having to select the weapon you want and then going out of their way to equip the base of the weapon. I feel like equipping the base weapon should be the standard and Blueprint should have their own button or something of that nature in the Gunsmith menu. Overall, the UI is functional and you can get everything you need done in a reasonable amount of time, but quality of life changes would make the game feel like a $70 title and not something that I would look to buy during a summer Steam sale. Also, fix the UI during a match. I want to change my perks, please. Lastly, everyone's favorite thing in the world, skill-based matchmaking. I know, how exciting is that? Activision has really just created something so enjoyable everyone in the community has been complaining about for over 3 years straight. Making you constantly have to play people at your skill match or at your skill level is exhausting. And not only is it like one skilled player on the other team, it's like the entire team is as good as you are, if not better. So you end up having to carry 4 to 5 people who feel like they can't carry their own weight most of the time. If they tone down the skill-based matchmaking by a factor of 2 and then add it in a ranked mode, I think the whole world would rejoice. If they're going to do skill-based matchmaking, make sure each team has like 1 to 2 great players and fill the rest based off ping. Nobody wants to sweat every single match, and people would like to, you know, like relax and have fun and make a fun weapon class. I had lobbies where I was clearly the best player and the other team got screwed, which for me was fun, and there was lobbies where I felt like a 1v6 in some cases, and that happened a lot. Me and my friend, and that happened. Me and my friend were playing in a search lobby, and it was a 2v6 quite literally because everyone backed out because the other team was so good. Like it's very unbalanced, the skill-based matchmaking. It's inconsistent. Sorry, roll cards. Anyways. If Activision gives Infinity Ward the green light to make lobbies fun, this will be the greatest Call of Duty of no time. Sorry. This will be the greatest Call of Duty of all time. No competition. In my next voiceover video, I will explain why at its heart, Modern Warfare 2 is the best game that they've made. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. This was the first video I made with a word-for-word script. I feel like I'm back in high school writing a paper. My hands are starting to hurt typing all this. But anyways, like the video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe if you like, you know, old school COD vet talking about video games. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.